Hey y'all, it's Andrea back again with another video. In this one, I'll be talking about 5 things I did to land my tech sales job. I did a previous video about this, and this is part 2. This edition, I'm gonna call the people edition because I used my people skills to meet new people, and my alarm is going off. Okay, so I used my people skills to meet new people to help me in landing this job. So I use my networking skills, if you will. So like I mentioned in a previous video, I did a lot of LinkedIn networking. So I built up my LinkedIn, and I'm still in the process of building up my LinkedIn. It's an ongoing process, but I was very intentional about building my LinkedIn, connecting with people in the tech industry, connecting with people here in Atlanta in the tech industry, you know, people that I could meet in person, which that really didn't matter, but I like to be social and go to different tech events and things like that. So I connected with people here in Atlanta, people all over the world who were in tech, and specifically in the tech sales industry, just because that is what I was trying to get a job in, right? I sent people messages, I sent people connection requests, I connected with other people's connections who I thought, would be cool to connect with, like hiring managers, tech sales influencers, that type of thing. And I also would engage with their posts on LinkedIn. So not just like putting comments like, great post, or like just liking it, but also just going that extra step in making sure that I'm leaving comments that are like thoughtful and that are adding to the post. Maybe I'm leaving a comment telling about how my experience relates to that person's post. Like this one time I saw this man in tech sales. He was posting about how when he was trying to get a job, he was like basically embarrassed, like not embarrassed, but like conscious of like self-conscious of like his name. I believe he was Indian, and he had an Indian name, and like he basically didn't want that to like deter him from getting a job. And then so I posted under that post like, hey, I actually worked with someone previously in the same situation, and we would call him by the name Zach when his name was like, that I knew him by, was like totally something different. Like, his government name was totally different than what we called him at work, and what he talked to the customers as. He introduced himself as Zach to the customers, because that was like more acceptable. So I was being relatable on his post, and that was that brought more engagement, from the original poster and like from other people. So things like that, like when I would comment on people's posts, I would make sure that it was like valuable, I was bringing value to the post, not just, saying something simple. So definitely just building up my LinkedIn, networking a lot on LinkedIn, connecting with hiring managers, connecting with people at the different companies that I was interested in, and just like, talking to them. Going in from that to my number 2 way that helped me to land my tech sales job is actually multi-threading. So literally what that is basically like reaching out to different people in the company, within the company that you want to work in. Or this is not only like when you're trying to get for a job, but in this case I was looking for a career in tech. So the companies that I was applying to, I was reaching out to different people who worked in those companies and basically, you know, opening a conversation with them, you know? And so the thing about that is that it didn't matter. Like, I would do it through LinkedIn, email, like whatever way that I could, you know, contact them, right? Mostly on LinkedIn though. But the whole premise of that is that, like, your name is going to be known in the company. Like, you know, people are going to get more familiar with your name just by doing that, you know, because people talk, you know. The teams within companies, they're not, you know, there are big teams, you know, for like the big companies, but like word will get around, you know, and that's what I wanted to happen, right? So specifically at the I did this with, you know, a few companies, but specifically at the company that I was hired at, I did this. I reached out to, I believe it was like 3 of the people on the sales team. 2 of them were like account executives, and one of them was SDR. And one of them had actually been promoted from SDR to account executive within the last, like, I say like 6 to 8 months. So it was very important for me to like reach out to him and connect with him, because I thought that was like, that he would give me like good insight, right? So I asked him specific questions, you know, when I was reaching out to them. And let me see if I can remember any of the questions. I know I asked them about like, what do they like about, you know, the company, and their job, their role. Also, like, what is something that they wish they could change, you know, about the company. Like, I wanted to know the good and the bad, right? Because I would be coming into this company and I want to make a conscious decision. I want to make sure that I'm making the right decision for myself as well, right? So I asked them about the good and the bad. I asked them about like what they thought, like what qualities they thought would be good for the role, like in helping me to land the role. I definitely, when I reached out, I let them know that I had just applied for the role, the new role as SDR. So they were already aware of that. I was very transparent with them. And they were very like open. There was one person that was like, she was like very like short with me, but the other 2 guys, they were like open to conversation. Actually, the SDR that I reached out to, like he and we're literally like, we're on this, not only are we on the same team, but like our team is split in half, like say like team A and team B. So like we're both on team B, like, you know, so like we're on the same team, but we on the same team. So it's really cool like that he actually, you know, gave me feedback before I went into my interviews, and now like we're actually working together, and oh my gosh, I just love him so much. Like, he helps me so much, right? And then the other guy who was an SDR who transitioned into being an account executive, I probably got the most like insight from him, and I really, really, truly appreciated that. And he is like, he's like the poster child, right, of like how to do things right, you know? So like even my manager always uses him as an example of, you know, like what he's looking for. So it was really awesome to get so much like insight from him. And they might think it was just a small thing, like, oh, a random girl reached out to me, asked me about, but it was huge for me, right? So I would say like multi-thread into the company, like allow for a chance for your name to get around, so that when you get on those interviews, like, you know, like it can already be a thing, like, wow, in the management's mind, like, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on this person because they went the extra mile to, you know, talk to people on the team, and people on the team are coming back to me like saying that they might be cool, or, you know, things like that. And even if the people on the team don't go back to, like, the word doesn't get back around to the manager, there's like for me, for example, for me, what I did on my interview, I had 3 rounds. So on the 3rd round was my mock cold call, and I had to do that with my boss and his boss, so both of them, right? I had to do 2 different mock cold calls on my 3rd interview. And during during the end of the cold call, while I was booking like the interview, the demo with them, I said, hey, let me go ahead and, basically book this demo with you on this date and time. You'll be doing the demo with my colleague, Tanner, blah, blah, blah. So when I said his name, that was actually someone that I had talked to before, right? Who was an account executive from the company. And that kind of threw my boss and his boss both for a loop. They were like, wait, hold up. Like, did you know that there was somebody in this company named that? Or was that just a random name that you threw out? And there was my opportunity, and I was able to say, yes, I have been talking to people in the company, and I am very familiar with Tanner. I was able to have a conversation with him. So that wasn't just a random name. I know that he's on your team. So they were very, very, very impressed with that. They loved that. So there's just different ways. Like, even if it doesn't get back to them, there's different ways. You just gotta be creative. There's different ways that you can let them know that you did your homework, and you've heard great things about the company, and this is why you want to move forward with the interview process, because of the people that you connected with in the company and the good things that you've heard, right? So that's number 2. My number 3 would be having coffee chats with people who are already in the industry. So I did this quite a few times, right? So one of the times I did it with this guy named Josh. He worked at one of the companies. I think he had like a management role at one of the companies that I applied for. And this was like my first role in tech, right? So he invited me to a coffee chat, or I think I asked him. I think I asked him, if he would be open to it, and I was able to like ask him questions, just get insight into like just tech sales in general, the SDR role, his company, and he gave me some good advice. And like he could tell, like, I'm very new to this, right? But also he was just like keeping it real with me. He was like, you basically just showcase your experience, like you have done this and this. Like, you let them know that, you just basically got to showcase that. Let them know like you can do this role, and like, you got it, right? And then I also found out over LinkedIn, one of my old friends from college, he was actually in tech sales, and he had been in tech sales for a long time. So I was just like, for like over 10 years, right? So I was like, wow, I didn't know he was in tech sales. So I hit him up on LinkedIn. We exchanged numbers, and then we did like a coffee chat too. And he pumped me up so much as well, and like just, gave me life. And that was really cool because like he knows me, right? He knew me like when we were in college, and like I pretty much have the same drive and the same like work ethic. So he knew like all of those good things about me, and like, how my demeanor was, right? So he was like, you're perfect for this. Like you've done all of this, you've excelled so much, like you can excel in this too. And like just, giving me that encouragement and letting me know, like, basically don't let anyone tell you that you can't do this, like not even the manager you're on the interview with. You let them know that you got this and that you're gonna crush it, because you are gonna crush it. And like that just put so much fire under me, because I was kind of like even doubting myself, just a little bit, because it's like when you're new to something, you do have that imposter syndrome coming sometimes, like, you know, like, dang, can I really do this? You know, like, I know I've made it this far, but can I really do this? Because y'all, I was not excited about I was excited about getting interviews, but I wasn't excited about the interview part because I don't think I'm really good at interviews, you know? All I can really do is like just be myself, and if you was something, you was something. If you don't, you don't, you know? So that was a really great coffee chat. He gave me a lot of insight about like just tech sales and like how you move up in the industry, how you make more money. Like he gave me the game, and that was a really, really nice conversation because just like our history, like he knows me and he's just elevated so much in his career, like from starting from the bottom, from like entry level, like where I am right now, to like each year taking a step up and making more money. Like, and he's out there in California too, so you know he's getting to the money, right? It was just amazing to like hear from him. And then another person that I did a coffee chat with was this man named Dale Thorne, and I actually saw one of his posts on LinkedIn because he was connected to one of my connections, and he was posting that he would be doing like basically like coffee chats with SDR leaders and also like people who are, you know, trying to break into a tech sales role. And so I was like, yeah, what do I have to lose? Like, I would love to learn from this person, you know, like his background in tech was so expansive, and like it was really good. So I was like, yeah, I can definitely learn from him, right? So I booked a meeting with him, random stranger, right? And oh my gosh, it was one of the best decisions that I made in my job search process. Oh my goodness, like he's an angel. Like that's how I describe him. Like he helped me so much, like with my interviews, because by that time when I booked with him, I had already done one interview and I had 3 more interviews like coming up. And like, oh my gosh, he helped me so much with like, he actually literally, we did like screen shares, and like he helped me to go through and look at different tech companies and figure out like what their value prop was, figure out who their customers are, like, you know, like what are they offering the customers, like and of course like the customers are different businesses, right? Because we're selling to different businesses. But it was super dope. Like he gave me a very just in-depth view of like what I would be doing in the SDR role. Even though I had took the Course Careers bootcamp, this was a good refresher, but also like just like, girl, this is you really doing it. Like you're doing it in your job search, exactly what you're going to be doing in your job, right? So that was super dope. Then I did another session with him, like came back and did another session with him, and like he helped me so much. Like I give all the thanks to Dale. Like I will always thank him because he did mock interviews with me. Like he gave me a list of like the things that he looks for when he's hiring for you know, individual contributors, SDRs. I couldn't think of the word, SDRs and BDRs within his organizations, like things he was looking for in the past when he was hiring. And like he gave me the interview questions that, you know, they would be asking, which Course Careers does too. But Dale, he was an actual hiring manager. So he just broke it down to a simplest form too, and gave me like, you know, what he would be asking, and like what most sales leaders would be asking you. So that was really helpful. And then for him to not only do that, but take it to the extra step and like do mock interviews with me and then coach me on my answers and stuff, after that, it was like, hands down, like I literally, when I met Dale, I ran into a gold mine. Like, that's all I can say. I ran into a gold mine because that's how much gold nuggets he gave me, right? So that's my third thing. Okay, so my fourth thing that I did to land my tech sales job is kind of moving from that third thing where I talked about did the coffee chats with people. So so the fourth thing is like getting a mentor, and Dale was actually my mentor. Like, that is who I call my mentor, like, because I was able to do like more than one coffee chat with him. Like, I'm still able to like even just book a chat with him, like, you know, which I'm about to do this upcoming week too, like, just to like, you know, give him an update and like, you know, see, like, let him know about my new role and everything, which he knows that I got the job, but like, just, you know, kind of like update on like where I am now. But get you a mentor. Like, if you find somebody like on LinkedIn or outside of LinkedIn that's in the field that you're trying to go into, like that's already in tech sales, if you're going into tech sales, like, and they seem like a good leader, if you connect with that person, like, why not, you know, take advantage of that and like be able to like be open and like be transparent about like what you need, because people, when they know what you need, they are more open to helping you. Like, I even have people, this is a sidebar, I even have people like, once I put it out there like that I was looking for my tech sales role, like I had people DMing me like different jobs and stuff, DMing me like there was this one girl, like she would DM me all the time, like different roles, like every time she came across something she would think of me and just like send it to me, and I'm like, dang, she didn't have to do that. Like, thank you so much, girl. Like, I didn't even know the girl, she was my LinkedIn connection, you know, and we just connected over that. So if there's somebody that you connect with that you feel like can be a great leader for you, and you know, you let them know like what you need, people are more open than you think they might be, right? Like, Dale was so open, he allowed me to be so vulnerable with him. Just, ooh, it was amazing. Like, I literally, after each call with him, I literally cried, okay? I was almost about to cry, like, while I was on the call. That's how good it was, like, because I just knew, like, oh my gosh, thank you, God. Like, this is helping me to get the career that I want. Like, I just felt it so much, so intensely. And so yeah, I say, if you can, find a mentor. Like, Dale didn't charge me anything, you know. I am very like big on coaching as well. Like, so I've paid like thousands of dollars to people to coach me to get to my next level, you know. So that type of thing too. Like, if you feel like you need a coach and stuff too, like, do what you gotta do, you know. Do what you gotta do, depending on what it is. Like, you know, there's a certain amount of money that you should pay, but definitely, if you find somebody that you connect with that can provide mentorship for you, free of charge, like, that is what I recommend. Of course, you can't force it, but I think that if you put it out there that you're seeking something, it'll come to you, you know, just like how this fell into my lap. And then the fifth thing that I did to land my tech sales job is that I joined like different support groups for people who were trying to break into tech and to break into the to tech sales. So there was like several different like groups that met up each week that I found just on LinkedIn, just from being connected with different people in tech. There are different leaders that I got on their weekly calls. There was Keandre Sutton, him and Nick, They had like a meetup each week. They still do have it. Just helping like SDRs and people who were hoping to get into tech, like helping them in their job search process, helping them on like what to do within interviews, what to do, like how to look for jobs, like what are the sites to go on to, like what kind of boot camps could they get into, or if they finished the boot camp, like now, like how do you reach out to a hiring manager, what do you say, like all of those types of things. Like they broke down, and each individual got a chance to like speak and get advice, ask a question, that type of thing. Another person whose group I joined in on was Cassie Morenos. She had like a weekly group of people, just, you know, trying to not only transition into like tech or like, you know, a new career, but like people who wanted to be like a creator, like, you know, so hers was more so geared toward people who wanted to use their platform, their brand, and become a creator, but use that platform to get into a role in tech, if that makes sense. Either get into a new role, like using their platform to get into a new role to attract, you know, that career that they wanted, or to, you know, attract business. You might be an entrepreneur, so that type of thing, which hers was really good. And then another person who did like, she did like a weekly, it was like a series of like, you know, weekly meetings where she would teach different tech sales like principles and like how to land a role in tech. Kayla Burke, super just amazing top seller in tech sales. And so I joined hers as well. She does have like a coaching community called the Tech Level as well, and hers was just very in depth. So she pretty much what Dale taught me on our like one-on-ones is what Kayla was offering in her group sessions. Which was really amazing because she really broke down like tech companies and what they're looking for and how to really do the SDR role, but like how to do the SDR role to get yourself a job, like how to sell yourself to get the position, and then how to like study and like know all of this information about a tech company before you go into the role, like making sure that you're fully prepared and that you understand tech, that you understand the industry that you're going into and not just going into there blindly. And like what I'm saying right now is not doing her meetings justice, but that was another person whose weekly meetings that I went to, and I didn't go to like all these meetings like every week, but I would go to like one here, one there, one, you know, like that. So I was able to like be in community with other people who were looking for a career in tech, and then connect with the leaders. So it was very beneficial all around because you get to hear other people's questions as well, and those questions are going to help you answer questions that you didn't even know that you had, if that makes sense too. So it was really good, really dope, really helpful. And I think going on these meetings, I had already done a lot of research myself. I had done the Course Careers Bootcamp. I had done like so much research myself prior to even going to like a weekly meeting, that a lot of the things that I was doing already is like, they were saying a lot of things that I was doing already, but also it was a lot of confirmation, like, girl, you're on the right track, girl, like you're doing the right things, because I was already doing some of the things that they were saying, and I was like, wow, I'm really on the right track. I don't know how, thank you God, but I'm doing it. I'm on the right track. And then I did have a couple of questions that they were able to answer to, which was really amazing. And they gave me a lot of insight, you know, to not confirmation, but also insight into like what I should do next, like what my next move would be, if that makes sense. So it was super beneficial, like especially if you're brand new to, like, if I could have joined the weekly meetings like before, that would have been even better, you know. So if you're totally brand new, if you want to go to any of the meetings that I mentioned with those people, or if you are, you know, being active on like LinkedIn and stuff, and you find some other groups, I think that would be beneficial too, because there's so many groups out there, you know. I only just went to a few, but there's so many that, you know, I heard about, or that I don't even know about, that you can just find that will resonate with you, you know. And I think you'll attract whatever you're looking for. So those are my 5 things. I do have even more things that I did, so I'm probably gonna make a part 3 video, but I hope that helps. Try some of those things, try all of those things. Like for me, it wasn't just one thing that helped me to land my job. Like I did a combination of so many things that all contributed to me getting to where I am now. So try as many as you can. I say do them all, and it'll work out. Like if you really want this, it will work out. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. See you next time.